regularly scheduled village board meeting. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Davis.
Here.
Trustee Aiello. Trustee Bullfuss.
Here.
Trustee Taglia.
Here.
Trustee Case. Trustee Bullwinkle.
Here.
President Cullerton.
Here. And if we could all please stand for the pledge. Mike Orlowski, could you please lead us in the pledge? Sure.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You could all remain standing. Trustee Taglia, could you lead us in a prayer, please?
Of course. Our Heavenly Father, will thou be pleased to grant that this meeting, thus begun in order, be conducted in peace and closed in harmony. Amen.
All right. Item 3 is approval of the agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Mr. President,
Trustee Taglia.
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Can I have a second?
Mr. President.
Trustee Davis.
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Trustee Bullfuss.
Yes.
Trustee Bullwinkle.
Yes.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
President Cullerton.
Yes. Item 4, consider a resolution approving Web QA services agreement with Web QA Incorporated. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. Economic Development requests approval to enter into a contract with Web Q&A for a one-year service agreement for Go Local website portal services. The initial implementation cost is $1,500 with a monthly cost of $295. Total cost is $5,040. The program will enable Villa Park businesses to have a web presence and provide access for social media marketing. Several online training sessions will be included. And Your Honor, I do have a Economic Development Commission memorandum directed to the board and signed by the members of the Economic Development Commission supporting the implementation of Go Local for the village, Your Honor. Thank you.
Well, and I also see we have a letter from Phil Patel, the president of the Chamber of Commerce, in support of this issue as well, that he had brought to his board of directors. Are there any questions or comments from the public? Questions or comments from the board? Actually, if who would like to describe a little bit for the public what the program?
I believe Director Yee would like to address.
Perfect. That wasn't a softball, was it?
So thank you. Go Local is a program that will, we will have a logo on our webpage that will say Shop Local. And when you click on it, any of the current contact information that is on our website with existing businesses will be transferred over to this Go Local website. Kent Hartsfield from Go QA is here as well, and that information will be transferred. So this will allow for free any local businesses in town to be able to put their address, their business information on there. They'll have ability to have a Twitter feed, a Facebook, follow me type of capabilities, and have a web presence. Then for a cost, a very nominal cost of $50 a year, they will be able to add logos, pictures, menus, graphics, again, have that follow me type of thing. They'll be able to put coupons. If a business were to try and create a website of their own, it would cost minimally $1,000. So for $50, we're providing a great service to businesses, and all the businesses that I've talked to, either from the chamber or at EDC or when I'm out and about, they're all very excited and said that they would participate in it. And Kent, if you want to say anything further, but I think this is really a great, something great. So, you know, businesses small who are doing restaurants or hair services or any kind of business, construction, will benefit from it, as well as large businesses such as the Odeum, who can post their calendar of events and so forth for a very nominal cost of $50 per year.
And then And I see you've given us examples from Crystal Lake in here. So
Correct.
if anybody from the public would like to see how it works, it looks like it's attached to Crystal Lake's.
Well, I should mention that GovQA is able to provide this service at such a low-cost opportunity because they offer it to about 400 municipalities across the nation. And so Addison, for example, their chamber department is utilizing it. Our chamber had wanted to do it, but they needed to have at least 30 to 50 businesses to sign on. And when they were unable to do that, then I picked up the ball and I said, this is something that the village should be doing. But many local businesses, Sherwood, Hanover Park, Crystal Lake, Addison, Downers Grove, many local municipalities or their chambers are participating in this because it is very worthwhile.
And if this is approved this evening, how quickly do we foresee this going up on our website?
Probably a 6 to 8 week implementation process.
Okay.
So we have a contract, as I said, the contract is an annual contract, but it's automatically renewable, and these fees are locked in for a 5-year period at $295 a month.
Perfect. And then if a business wants to be part of this, should they go to our are we gonna have a link on our website?
We're gonna create a email address, and it's going to be called golocal@invillapark.com. And we're going to have an electronic form. Kent's going to create an electronic form. So you're going to go onto this electronic form, put in your contact information, and you'll select, do you want the basic or the premier? And then we're going to set up a PayPal account where they sign up for the premier. They can either send a check, stop by, give cash, or pay with PayPal, and they can register their business. Then Economic Development will review their application. They'll input everything onto the website. It'll be sort of a process that they'll go through. We'll have 3 of these online training or webinar type of sessions, and they'll be able to do that.
Fantastic. Any other questions or comments for the board?
President Cullerton?
Trustee Bullwinkle?
Several businesses probably already have a website, but can they link to this through their web? So can there be some dual
Yes.
marketing opportunities there too?
And then additionally, I should mention too that for chamber members, we're going to put the chamber logo, the Villa Park Chamber logo on
Okay.
it. So the chamber is very excited about it as well.
Okay.
So I'm very excited about this program because it gives a web presence to businesses that maybe couldn't afford to do
Right.
so. And even if you have an existing web presence, this will get you higher up on the Google list or whatever search engine that you use. And so I think it's a great opportunity for us.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
One question.
Trustee Ayala?
The automatically renewable, what does that mean?
So automatically renewable, so if you don't want to renew, then you give them notice, written notice 60 days before the expiration of that term. But the great thing about this is that we're locked into these low fees for 5 years. And if we want to cancel it, we can cancel it at the end of each year.
So our contract will have a termination clause where we can terminate no penalty.
Yes.
Sometimes the automatically renewals
It's-
get
it's
to be a
in-
problem.
It is in the contract. I have a copy of the contract. So 60 days before the end of each current term, we can choose to terminate.
So someone's gonna docket that.
I'll docket that.
Perfect.
I'll be responsible for that.
You're in.
No problem.
Rich says for sure you are. Any other questions or comments?
Mr. President,
Trustee Bolthus?
I think this is a great idea. It's a great opportunity for the small businesses in Villa Park, for the board and the village to help support them and to get them access onto the internet, which, nowadays it's very important. People use that to look up everything from, A to Z, and for no fee for them. All they have to do is just supply their information. And if they want, like I said, if they want to go to Premier for another $50, they can change information, put coupons on there. If it's a time of the year where their business has gotten a little slow, they can throw a coupon up there and help generate some traffic. One of my questions, though, I have: how are we going to make the residents know to go to the village website to make the link into this program?
We're going to do some marketing. I'm going to try and get some flyers
out in, we had talked about, there's the pamphlets that go out from the Park District, and we'll put something in those packets. And we'll have something on our website that maybe talks about it. You click on the Go Local so that you can read about the program. So we'll try and think of some additional marketing things to do. You know, and then I'm also collecting emails. So I'm collecting emails from various sources within the village, and then I will be sending out mass emails as well.
Do you have any idea how many businesses we have in town
We
that
have
may be interested in
approximately,
this?
give or take, about 1,000 businesses in town. It is tough because we don't register our businesses,
Yeah, no license
and we don't have
requirements,
any
so-
license, no. But, so we'll do the best we can. I'm hoping that word of mouth will help us. So if we can get, we're trying to gather at least 300 or 400 emails, or at least contact people, at least of that number. And if they can at least tell 1 or 2 other businesses, I'm hoping that the word will get out. Because, you know, one of the things that Kent mentioned to us when he made his presentation at our EDC meeting is, for example, there was one pizza company, their business goes way down when it rains. So guess what? Whenever it rains, he puts in a coupon. And it has increased his traffic on those rainy days significantly. So, you know, small businesses can tailor their needs, their drop in business, or, you know, February's a slow month for you, maybe you put one in just to the end of the month or to the beginning of March. So you can tailor it, and it will really be a very useful tool for our local businesses. It will also be a platform. As a whole, Villa Park isn't as technologically as advanced as maybe some other towns. So this is really also a stepping stone for them to become more familiar and more comfortable with technology. So maybe they don't have a website. Maybe they're not ready to have a website, but the fact that they can have a web presence on this Go Local in Villa Park, maybe they start to put that in there, and their next step, it will graduate or evolve to wanting a website. So I think it's a small steps, getting people more familiar, more comfortable. So these businesses, if they sign up and people follow them, then they can send out mass emails to anybody who follows them of any of the specials they have.
So I think it's a great demonstration of the village, you know, supporting our local businesses, so, yeah, I think it's a good idea. Cost is minimal.
Cost
so,
is
for the
minimal.
village even, because we'll get this back as they increase their sales.
Absolutely. And we'll get some of it. I think that there'll be a lot of people who want the premiere, and so that'll offset some of the costs that we're spending.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. A couple of ways we'll be getting the word out for the Go Local is we'll use our Nixle accounts, probably our Parks and Rec distribution, email distribution system, along with the village's distribution system. And additionally, since this is a village program, we'll probably use the billboard on Roosevelt also for free to advertise it.
We also have the press here, they can run stories for us on this, so that'd be great.
Bless you.
And the village
Yeah.
newsletter, too.
Yes.
Yep, we're going to put it in the Village Matters.
Fantastic.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Consensus to move this to the formal?
Trustee Bolfus?
Yes.
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
Trustee Bullwinkle?
Yes.
Trustee Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
President Colleton?
Yes, and this will move to the formal. Item 5, consider an ordinance authorizing the third amendment to the annual budget of the Village of Villa Park for the fiscal year commencing on May 1st, 2012 and ending on April 30th, 2013. Budget amendment number 3. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. To better track expenses and revenues during the course of the current fiscal year, staff is introducing proposed budget amendments on a periodic basis rather than annually. Budget amendment number 3 proposes changes to the street improvement and equipment replacement funds for 2 capital equipment purchases. A two-thirds vote of the corporate authorities is required to approve an ordinance for these proposed changes. And this evening, Your Honor, we have proposed purchase of the asphalt heating unit, otherwise known as a hot box, and then proposing to purchase another fuel-efficient vehicle, a Chevy Cruze from Castle Chevrolet, located here in Villa Park. The asphalt heating unit or hot box, it has a 60-day delay because it has to be handmade. However, that'll still be good timing for the spring, and then next year we'll be able to use it. Year-round. And at the end of the day, when the asphalt cools, we'll be able to heat it up the next day, so there'll be no spoils that be thrown out. Just a regular recycling unit, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the public? Questions or comments from the board?
Yes, President Collerton?
Trustee Bullwinkle?
Manager Keener?
Yes.
The fuel-efficient vehicle, what department will have access to that?
That vehicle is going to be in Public Works and replace, I believe it's a Crown Vic that's
Crown Vic.
old and a gas guzzler.
Okay, definitely gas guzzler. Public Works, okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Any other questions or comments?
Mr. President,
Trustee Taglia?
just for the public's edification, what's the make and the model of the fuel-efficient vehicle?
Chevy Cruze?
Good. Are we buying that locally?
Yes, we are.
Very good.
Castle Chevrolet here in Villa Park.
Excellent. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Consensus?
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
Trustee Bullwinkle.
Yes.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Ayello.
Yes.
Trustee Bolfus.
Yes.
President Colleton.
Yes, and this will move to the formal. Item 6, consider an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, deleting the duplicative position titles of Director of
Yeah, get
Police
rid
and
of that.
Director of Fire. See that? Now let's see you pronounce it. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. The current Village Code, Chapter 19, addresses the formation, organization, and staffing of the fire and police departments. The positions do not exist in the village for the authorized staffing of the budget. The Village Park Municipal Code describes the same position as both police chief and director of police, and the same position of fire chief and director of fire and EMS services. Staff recommends that they only be described as police chief and fire chief. Thank you, Your Honor.
Any questions or comments from the public? Questions or comments from the board?
Mr. President,
Trustee Bolfus?
thank you for putting this on the agenda. I never did like the director positions, so.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Consensus?
Trustee Bullwinkle.
Yes.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Ayello.
Yes.
Trustee Bolfus.
Yes.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
President Colleton.
Yes, moves to the formal. Item 7, consider an ordinance allowing parking on the parkway within the North Avenue industrial area subject to certain terms and conditions. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. Businesses within the North Avenue industrial area bounded by North Avenue, the Canadian National Railroad, Addison Road, and Ardmore Avenue utilize paved parkways in front of their properties for parking. An ordinance allowing parking in parkways within the North Avenue industrial area would bring this activity into technical compliance with village ordinances. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the public? Questions or comments from the board? I have one. Why is this necessary?
Well, in the short version, I believe we would control parking and make it a aesthetic pleasing area, but I'd like to turn it over to our staff, Rich Salerno, to discuss this wholeheartedly.
Good evening. Manager Keener is correct in that aspect. Currently, our village ordinance does not permit parking within the parkway. Each one has been by license agreement in the past. We'll be resurfacing those streets in the near future. And to bring that in compliance, we were going to do a blanket ordinance. So that's basically it.
How often are we usually over there? I mean, to address parking issues?
Public Works, not too often, but the businesses do utilize the parkway very frequently to park their vehicles.
So it's something they're doing anyway?
That's correct. It's just how we said to bring it in compliance with our current ordinance.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from the board? Consensus?
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Ayello.
Yes.
Trustee Bolfus.
Yes.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
Trustee Bullwinkle.
Yes.
President Colleton.
Yes, item A, consider an ordinance amending chapter 16 of the municipal code of the village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, regarding theft. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The current village code addresses retail theft, section 16-101, thefts from retail mercantile establishments. However, it does not outlaw thefts of other types under $150, theft of service, theft of lost or mislaid property from non-retail victims. By adding a theft ordinance, the board will provide the police department with another tool for charging offenders. Ordinance theft charges can now, if this is passed, be referred to the village's local adjudication process instead of sending cases to criminal court. Staff recommends approving an ordinance creating a new section of the Villa Park Village Code, section 16-119, regarding theft. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the public? Questions or comments from the board? If, actually, I had a question earlier. Chief, if myself and Manager Keener and the chief went through this a little bit this morning, if you could sort of break down for some people what this will actually entail and how this will help?
Yes, sir. When you give yourself more opportunities, especially in the world of criminal justice and law enforcement, to charge, it gives you greater options and control. As the manager alluded to in the agenda memo I prepared, we have a retail theft ordinance that talks about thefts from businesses. But say, for example, you had property stolen from outside the front of your house and it was a juvenile offender, generally our only option is to charge that juvenile into juvenile court. And a first offender, the juvenile court won't take that case. They won't even get before a judge. If we have a theft ordinance, we can save that for low amounts, first offenders, juveniles, where we can send it to our local adjudication process for a resolution and an opportunity to bring some justice, and then save the state criminal charges or a juvenile petition filing for a repeat or a multiple offender.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board?
Mr. President,
Trustee Bolthus?
will this help us save some time with our officers having, if it does go to court, they don't have to go to the county area, so they could just do it right here?
Well, yes, truth be told, most juvenile offenders, especially on first offenses, don't get taken to the youth home. They're not detained anyway. But certainly, anytime we can keep from having to go all the way to Wheaton for court and stay a little closer to home, we save in travel time and appearance time as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Consensus?
Trustee Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
Trustee Bolfus?
Yes.
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
Trustee Bullwinkle?
Yes.
President Colleton?
Yes. Thank you, Chief. Item 9, an ordinance amending Chapter 16, Section 112, restrictions and regulations regarding tobacco and drug paraphernalia of the Municipal Code of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. As currently written, section 16-12M limits a police officer's ability to issue village ordinance tickets to anyone other than juveniles. Staff proposes that the reference to smoking paraphernalia be moved into a standalone sentence so that the violation will apply to persons of any age. Staff also recommends the removal of the last 1.5 sentences of subsection D as well as subsections E through J. There is no license issued to sell items marketed for use with illegal cannabis or other drugs. The village board is requested to review and approve an ordinance amending section 16-1112 of the Village Park Village Code, restrictions and regulations regarding tobacco and drug paraphernalia. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the public? Questions or comments from the board? Consensus?
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
Trustee Bolfus?
Yes.
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
Trustee Bullwinkle?
Yes.
Trustee Davis?
Yes.
President Colleton?
And this will move to the formal. Item 10, consider a resolution to adopt the municipal legislative positions and priorities of the DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference for the 2013 legislative session. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference, otherwise known as DMMC, develops its annual legislative action program with the goal of establishing a comprehensive platform on legislative issues in order to protect and benefit the interest of its member municipalities, residents, and businesses alike. On January 16, 2013, DMMC voted to adopt its 2013 Legislative Action Program. Staff recommends the President and Board of Trustees approve a resolution of the Village of Villa Park adopting the DMMC 2013 Legislative Action Program. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the public? Questions or comments from the board?
President Colleton,
Trustee Bullwinkle?
Manager Keener.
Yes.
As you know, there's a number of priorities listed in the document that we received. Can we put that on our website?
Yes, we can.
Good. Very interesting list. Can that be put up soon?
I believe we should be able to do that tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Trustee Bolthus?
just so the public knows, we usually do this every year after the DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference makes up their legislative agenda actions. And basically, they ask the member communities to adopt it, to give it a little more weight when they go downstate with them. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the board? Consensus?
Trustee Bolfus?
Yes.
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
Trustee Bullwinkle?
Yes.
Trustee Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
President Colleton?
Yes, that'll be going down now to the formal. Item 11, consider proposed swim pool pass season rates and daily admission for the 2013 swim season. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. Staff has recommended a minimal increase for the 2013 season pool pass fees. These rates must be finalized by resolution and approved by the Village of Villa Park Board of Trustees. These recommendations are as follows. So for the early bird discounted rates, the rate for the residents age 3 to 59 for 2012 was $39, Your Honor, and the proposed 2013 increase would be up to $43. 60 years 60 plus, 2012 it was $34. The proposed 2013 increase would be up to $38. The regular season rates, the passes, the residents age 3 to 59, the 2012 rate was $50. It would increase to $55. Non-resident ages 3 to 59, currently it's 70. It would increase to $77. The 60 plus would increase on a regular season rate from 45 to 50. And non-resident age 60 plus would be 65, would increase to $72, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the public? If you could state your name, please.
My name's Kevin Barth. I live at 144 East Kenilworth. I have one comment to make about this. It's still a cheap rate for the pools. None of us really mind paying it, but we want to ensure that it goes to the pool. I know that it could go anywhere in the village. I just want to see that the rate is going up and that it goes to the Parks and Recs Department. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Any other questions or comments from the public? Questions or comments from the board?
Mr. President?
Trustee Bolthus?
You sort of answered Kevin's comments. The fact is that the pool generally gets a subsidy from the municipal, from the corporate fund anyway. So definitely all this money will go to the pools because they'll get more than what this fees cover. So it'll get there. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Bolthus. Anyone else from the board?
Yes, President Colleton.
Trustee Bullwinkle?
Manager Keener.
Yes.
What's the duration period for the early bird discount once this is approved? When will, what are the dates?
But
Give it
let's-
to Greg.
Oh,
Well, we're working on the summer brochure as we speak.
Okay.
So the dates are usually, we give people a month to purchase their early bird passes.
Right.
So it'll be out probably, the brochure will be out in April, so it'll be early May where they can take advantage of early bird, and then after that time, they'll have to sign up for the regular
Right.
season pass
okay,
and rates, I should say.
okay. Yeah. Well, when those dates are available, we'll put them on the website and get the
They'll
word
be
out. It'll
on,
be in
yeah,
the
we're
brochure.
still in the
and-
process of
what we
working
normally
on
do.
summer, so
Right,
those
okay.
dates haven't been established quite yet.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. And what- actually, one more question. In terms of the rate structure, I trust that the increases, this will continue to allow us to operate and maintain the pools, be able to afford to do so by covering the costs. So these rates are in line with what we expect to pay for maintenance and things like that?
Yeah, well, if all things being equal from last season's pool passes, we should hopefully bring in an additional $12,000 worth of revenue, so it go directly to covering the operating costs.
Yep, okay.
And I think Trustee Bolthus said that actually the village does cover a portion of that as well. There is a subsidy from the village, I don't think.
Correct.
And Trustee Bolthus, was that what you had stated earlier?
That's what I meant, yeah, because
Yeah.
we always have to chip in more money from the
Yeah,
corporate
as
fund.
long
So there's always, so I don't think this will cover entirely the pool budget,
No,
No.
but it helps
We
fill that
rely on
gap.
some
but
corporate
the
funding.
pools
Right, but
will
it's
be
still-
open this summer.
Oh, yeah,
Both pools will be open this summer.
as long as we're plugging in and planning for those types of things.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Well, then Manager Keener wanted to add something
Sure.
real quick.
We do have an outstanding DCO grant from the state of Illinois, and I believe it's in the amount of, I want to say 20,000 if my memory serves me correctly. And that's for both pools. And I believe since a number of bonds possibly were sold within the last 2 weeks through the state, that possibly that money may be released. And we have actively been following up on a number of grants. Currently, I believe we have 9 outstanding DCO grants, and Doris Sullivan in Parks and Rec and Fleet has been calling the local legislators and reminding them. And in fact, we had a visit from DCO the other day that toured the Village Hall, because we have 2 outstanding $50,000 grants for the rehab of Village Hall, and that money should be made available. Additionally, we have another DCO grant for the $80,000 bridge improvement that's still coming from DCO, that the money should be released. So
good.
a number of active grants still out there. Thank you. Your Honor.
What's a
Okay.
DCO?
I'm sorry.
Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity
Yes.
of the state of Illinois.
Okay.
Trustee Ayala?
CEO.
How many senior passes do we sell here, do you know?
I don't know offhand. We had a total number of about 1,800 passes sold last year, so I would imagine 100.
100?
Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing, 100. So if we don't raise the seniors, or 60 and overs, talking about $400, $500. Why don't we just leave the seniors where they're at, over 60s?
Bump up the residents to 45?
I'm willing to do that too, sure. If you need to do that, but I don't think you need to do
Well,
it.
when you look at like a resident pass for Lombard, which is a water park, it's $211.
Right.
And for a family of 4, we're at 200.
Apples
It's a
and
water
oranges.
park, so, so you don't want to raise them too high because, we're just a swimming pool, we're not a water park. And then you also have the affordability aspect. So with the seniors, it depends on management. I'm okay with that. I would hate to go any higher because of the times we're in right now for the other residents.
So if I was asking the board to do that, how would I do that, Mr. President? Would I ask
you would
for that
have
now
to-
or wait till it goes to
No,
the
it's not
formal?
informal, so just make a suggestion.
Just wait till it goes to the formal?
No, you can make the suggestion now, and we can go to a consensus to stay at the 34 early bird, 45 regular.
Do you need me to make a motion for that?
He doesn't need to make a
No.
motion.
No, because it's not on motion, it's not up for a vote. But it doesn't have an early bird according to my.
No, for residents it does, for non-residents
I'm
it
sorry.
doesn't. That one is residents, that one is residents.
Okay.
So I would guess, ask your fellow board members if
So,
they would believe.
Fellow board members, would you mind if we change this to say that the resident senior age 60 or over, proposed 2013 increase be unchanged at $34 rather than changing it to $38? And for 2013, regular season rate, not the early bird rate, would not change from 45 to 50, it would stay at 45.
Trustee Ayala?
Yes, sir.
Being the only one that this would affect on this board, I don't have any trouble with paying $4 extra, so.
Trustee Boltis would probably be a no.
As long as it keeps the pool, you know, every little bit, the pool needs the money, so. And now the residents recognize that.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah.
Any other questions from any other board members?
Mr. President?
Trustee Taglia?
Trustee Aiello, I appreciate your comments and your suggestions, but having talked with a lot of people from the pools, I believe that the seniors are more than willing to spend a couple extra bucks if they're late. It's like $4 or something, $5. So I do appreciate it, but I think there's a lot of focus on our pools right now, and I think people want to chip in, so. Although I do appreciate your motion, I think that the couple bucks won't really hurt anybody, so.
So that's two.
I got a feeling I know where it's going.
You gave it a try.
Trustee Davis or Bullwinkle?
Leave it alone.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you,
I think they'll
Trustee
be okay
Aiello.
with it.
So I believe we are going to leave them at, and this was the consensus of the Parks and Recreation Commission as well, committee as well. These rates were also vetted through the Parks and Recreation Committee as well, correct, Kevin?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, consensus to move this to the formal?
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
Trustee Bullwinkle.
Yes.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Aiello.
No, I have to say no.
No. Now he wants to close the pool.
Trustee Boltis.
Yes.
President Colleton.
And the motion passes. Item 12, advanced bill listing, A through C. Any questions from the public? Any questions from the board? Consensus?
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Aiello.
Yes.
Trustee Boltis.
Yes.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
Trustee Bullwinkle.
Yes.
President Colleton.
And that will move to the formal. Item 1A, appointment to commission, Dan Thomas, Summerfest Commission. Can I have a motion on the appointment?
Mr. President,
Trustee Davis,
make a motion.
second.
Mr. President,
Trustee Taglia,
I will second the motion.
questions or comments from the board? Roll call, please.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Aiello.
Yes.
Trustee Boltis.
Yes.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
Trustee Bullwinkle.
Yes.
President Colleton.
And that will be approved. Item 2, public comments on agenda items. As you can see, our agenda is not very long, so this will be on items 3, 4, and 5. Is there anyone who would like to speak on item 3, 4, and 5? If you want to speak on a non-agenda item, that would be item 12 on our agenda. Any resident to speak on item 3, 4, or 5?
I just have a question. Is this the time to talk about Go Local?
Oh, this would be a great time to talk about Go Local because it is on item 5, Web QA.
Okay, I just have a question.
Excuse me, you need
Oh,
to
you gotta
identify
state your
yourself.
name.
My name
Sorry.
is Bob Walker. I live at 1108 High Ridge in Lombard.
In Lombard, okay.
At any rate, I just have a question. I was listening to this. What type of infrastructure do each of the businesses have to have? Can they just go wireless? And if they do not have a wireless, they need web access, obviously, to use it. The question would be, can Villa Park help the businesses with the carriers so the businesses can get cheaper web access if they don't have it? That's the only question.
Aggregation?
I would say we probably cannot negotiate with individual web carriers or website designers. I believe through our chamber, we actually have some web designers who probably would love for other chamber members to utilize their services. I know through our chamber, most chamber members tend to give each other discounts throughout to help out, obviously shopping local, taking care of local. But this web QA is not set up to be a web design or work with carriers. It is strictly to provide an access through our website towards your business. And realistically, you may not even have a website, but according to this, it would put up your phone number, it would put up your address, And if you're a restaurant and go for the premiere but don't have a website, you could put a picture of your menu up there as well.
It's not website, it is, do they have web access? Do they have to have some way?
Here, if you can come up to the mic, I'm sorry, it just has to be,
No, the businesses have to have access to the web, whether it's wireless or
Yes.
whether they have like a
right,
Comcast
to
or
go
whatever.
through so
And
they
how
can
many
put stuff up.
businesses, the percentage of the 1,000 businesses in Villa Park, how many actually have them? And the village
I
can
would
help them.
say, I would say probably in this day and age, if they don't have it, they may be in a lot of trouble. But I would say most already do. But as we had already stated earlier also, we don't have business licenses in Villa Park, so our estimate of 1,000 businesses is still pretty much an estimate overall, because of the fact that we don't require business licenses for business in town. So we don't have an exact amount of how many actual businesses would be operating and want to function on this piece as well.
Because there's an upfront charge if they're not on the web or access to email. That's all.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the public on agenda items? Item 3, consent agenda. A, minutes from village board meeting for February 11, 2012. B, minutes from village COW for February 11, 2012. C, approved bill listing dated February 25th, 2013 in the amount of $720,962.98. Can I have a motion on the consent agenda?
Mr. President,
Trustee Taglia,
I'll move for the consent agenda.
can I have a second, please?
Mr. President,
Trustee Bolfus?
second.
Questions or comments from the board? Roll call?
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
Trustee Bolfus?
Yes.
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
Trustee Bullwinkle?
Yes.
Trustee Davis?
Yes.
President Colleton?
And the motion passes. Item 4, first reading of an ordinance authorizing the third amendment to the annual budget of the Village of Villa Park for the fiscal year commencing on May 1st, 2012 and ending on April 30th, 2013. Budget amendment number 3. Do I have a motion on the first reading?
Mr. President,
Trustee Davis?
a motion.
Do I have a second?
Mr. President,
Trustee Aiello?
second.
Questions or comments from the board? Roll call, please.
Trustee Bolfus?
Yes.
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
Trustee Bullwinkle?
Yes.
Trustee Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
President Colleton?
And the motion passes. Item 5, resolution approving Web QA services agreement with Web QA Inc. Can I have a motion on the resolution?
Mr. President,
Trustee Aiello,
move for the resolution.
can I have a second?
Mr. President,
Trustee Taglia,
I'll second.
questions or comments from the board? Roll call, please.
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
Trustee Bullwinkle?
Yes.
Trustee Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
Trustee Bolfus?
Yes.
President Colleton?
And the resolution passes. Item 6, village clerk's report.
No report tonight, thank you.
Thank you. 7, unfinished business. 8, new business. 9, village manager's report.
Thank you, Your Honor. I do have several items. I'd like to update everyone on our CSOs and our inspections. Year to date, we've done, and this is from January 1st, 2013, we've done 387 property maintenance violations versus last year of 251. We've done 278 follow-up inspections. Last year at this time, we did 121. Site visits for miscellaneous issues, 246 year-to-date, was 69 year-to-date, same time last year. Adjudications, 122 cases so far this year, 29 last year at the same time. Tickets issued, or citations if you will, 94 year-to-date, 17 this time last year. So as you can see that the crews are working very hard. We have conducted 225 vacant property inspections and have now just 10 of those registered. Now every vacant property should be registered, so we're working on that. We've filed 34 liens since January 1st, issued 23 stop work orders, issued 43 parking violation citations, So working hard in that area, which will improve the quality of life. Another item I'd like to bring up is a favorite to the board and to you alike, citizens. The legislative update from the DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference, just a couple of items of interest. Our own Senator Cullerton still has the Senate Bill 1155 moving forward on the crime-free housing. Another one near and dear to our heart is Senate Bill 1669, prevailing wage exemption. What this does, it permits a municipality, county, township, or school district to pass a resolution to exempt all local public works projects from prevailing wage requirements. Another one near and dear to all of our hearts is Senate Bill 1245, which is the PSEBA eligibility. This amendment is the Public Safety Employee Benefits Act and defines catastrophic injury as an injury, the direct and proximate consequences of which permanently prevent an individual from performing gainful work. Very important. Another one that's near and dear to our hearts is to protect our local government, local government finance revenue from the state. This bill, HB 961, proposes to directly deposit it into the village's.
It's also a Senate bill as well.
Yes, and it's also a Senate Bill 2334, deposited into our bank account, which is important. Right now, we have about maybe 3 to 4 accounts, funds, if you will, that are 1 to 3 months behind. So the state has provided us several payments, so they're catching up a little bit. Another interesting one, this doesn't come up a lot, but it has come up in the last few months, is House Bill 2468. If you happen to live in a hotel 30 consecutive days, you might be considered 90 consecutive days, you can be considered a resident. So it's very interesting to follow H Bill 2468. So, thank you, Your Honor. Last council meeting, I was asked about our village sewer reimbursement, and we have not funded that program since about 2009. What I did is I challenged staff to come up with a funding idea, and we did. We put $40,000 into that, or we proposed to, into that account. However, Resolution 0740 has a maximum reimbursement amount of, I believe, it's $10,000. It is. Total maximum reimbursement per address is $10,000. What I'd like to do, Board of Trustees and Your Honor, is to make a proposal and ask for consensus to move it forward. But for the $40,000 that we put into the account, I'd like to make the maximum $1,000, so it helps 40 residents next year, Your Honor. And that would be my proposal if we'd like to move forward with that.
Are you making a motion?
Just looking for some guidance, Your Honor.
That's a good idea.
I think it's probably a good idea. I would also ask, could it be possible that we look at helping fund possibly parkway issues as well? If we're only gonna do it, if we're only gonna do 1,000 towards it, could we possibly do parkway issues if it's our trees that are going into people's pipes?
It's a definite possibility. I can look into that, Your Honor.
Okay.
On some of these occasions, we already backfill it with CA6 or any other material, but $1,000 will certainly help the residents.
Right. I like it.
Okay, I'll do that then sometime in the future, near future. I did receive an email from Public Works today that on the Villa Park website, we now have the 2013 Harvard and Washington resurfacing project. So what you have to do, you have to go to our website, invillapark.com, and you go to the government hot button. You go to the village departments, which is Public Works, and then you'll see Harvard and Washington on there. Also have the 2013 TIF district street improvement. Same thing, website, government, village departments, public works, and then you'll see that on there. And then we're going to have probably the entire public works construction projects at the same location in the very near future. So you go our website, government, village departments, public works, and then PW projects, and they'll all be listed out. So it'll help you throughout the summer and moving forward. Additionally, this last week we had a number of meetings. And effective March 1st, residents will be able to pay their ambulance bills at the police department via credit card. In the past, you had to pay cash, you mail it in. Most folks would like to use credit cards, so now, effective March 1st, you can pay your ambulance fees, bills at the police department via credit card. And effective March 1st, you can also pay your permit fees at the Public Works Department via credit card. So a couple of steps we're making in the electronic media, Your Honor.
Any chance we can get those online anytime soon?
We're working towards that. We're looking at PayPal and some other methods, trying to keep the cost down for the residents, Your Honor. But sometimes there's an extra fee to process that through MasterCard and Visa, and we're just trying to keep the fees down.
Right.
Thank you, Your Honor. I pass.
Thank you. All right, with that, we will go to village attorney's
No
report.
report.
Village trustees, trustee Davis,
Nothing tonight.
trustee Bullwinkle.
That's just a few things. Manager Keener, the items that you listed in regards to the two-page mayors and managers' priorities,
Yes.
again, those will be on the website tomorrow so people can read them,
Yes.
right? Okay, and then also the list of street projects coming up. Instead of having people kind of link through links, can we put that list under headlines? Or just somewhere on the homepage where it's really like a hyperlink, a hot link right there
Sure.
where it's easy for people to find that information?
Sure.
So it's not so buried. That would be awesome. Okay, couple other things. Received an email, I'm a neighborhood watch block captain, received an email about, there's a telephone scam going on right now. And I don't know if our police chief's gonna wanna mention anything more about this, but the email says that a number of telephone scams have been coming in from the area code 876. And this particular area code is disguised as a domestic area code, but the calls actually originate from Jamaica. So the announcement was just basically let people know that there's a telephone scam and to be aware that when you're taking phone calls from anyone in this area code, it could very well be a scam. So that's area code 876. Thought that was interesting to note. And then one other thing, we have Coffee with the Board coming up on Saturday, March 2nd. And part of that is going to be about our electric aggregation list. And so we have a number, and that information is also on the website. We have our first hearing on March 2nd, and then a follow-up on Monday, March 18th at 6 o'clock, so right here at Village Hall. So, a Coffee with the Board on Saturday, March 2nd, 9 o'clock. That's it.
All right, trustee Ayala?
Thank you.
Thank you,
Nothing,
trustee Bullwinkle.
nothing, thank you.
Trustee Bolthus.
Nothing tonight.
Trustee Taglia.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, I would just like to thank the Senior Concerns Commission. They held a very successful SALT meeting. I'd also like to thank the following individuals who were present. Manager Keener, Trustee Bullwinkle, Clerk Koronecki, Commissioner Irene Schaefer, Deputy Chief Mike Lay, and Sergeant Tyson Johnson. I'd also like to give a special thank you to Sandra Hill, the Director of the Villa Park Library. She put on an excellent presentation to the seniors on how to access the internet and use the technology. And I learned something, there's 70 computers at the Villa Park Library. I would never guess that. So there's a lot of resources at our library, and they have a great staff, so thanks again to everyone mentioned. Also, as we all know, this town is basically driven by volunteers, our commissioners, our coaches, and tonight I want to specifically thank someone who I appreciate all their time and dedication. That's Commissioner/Coach Kevin Barth, who coaches basketball here for the Parks and Recreation Department. Him and his co-coach, Rick Henricks, they're doing a fantastic job. These kids have come a long way. They're winning games. They beat a team that had no losses the last one before last. So I just wanted to thank them and know how important it is to fathers and parents like me that our kids have such dedicated people in the community. So thank you, Coach Barth. I really appreciate it. And that's all.
Thank you, Trustee Taglia. With that, we will go to public. Oh, by the way, speaking of coaches, if you want to still sign up for Villa Park Youth Baseball, go to their website, vpyb.com. They're still taking applications, so you can still sign up. Same with Youth Warriors football. So please feel free to join in. And speaking of that, we're hoping that Coach Barth will be coaching a Little League team this year, whether he likes it or not. So I see him coaching all the time. With that, we will go to item 12, public comments on non-agenda items. Anyone from the public? Yes, sir.
Yes, my name is Bob Walker. I live at 1108 High Ridge Road in Lombard. And I'm here because of concerns about High Ridge Road and the safety. Villa Park has a piece between Ardmore and the west side of the Islamic Foundation. The north side of the road over the last few years has seen a lot of attention as far as patching little potholes and stuff like that. But being as I travel that all the time, what I'm seeing is people do not use the north side of the road between Ardmore and the Islamic Foundation. It is in terrible condition. My wife told me, well, you shouldn't come here. But the reason I came here is yesterday, I'm walking my dog on the sidewalk in the park, and just before the Willowbrook parking lot, there's a huge pothole that contains a lot of water. It got me about waist high. But there's a few things on High Ridge that's really bad. I think it's probably the worst road in DuPage County. I'm not sure, but if you counted how many potholes there are, it's got to be up there. There's some speed issues that go on constantly. I think the Villa Park Police Department has great opportunity to go ahead and catch people. And if you put the signs where they said 25 or 30, whatever it is, it would really be a help. On Friday afternoons at between 1:30 and 2 o'clock, if you go ahead and you have a policeman by the tennis courts at Willowbrook, I'm sure they can increase revenue quite a bit. People go 40, 45 miles an hour on that road. And the only other statement I have is, semi-truck traffic allowed on High Ridge Road as a pass-through all the time?
No, it should not. It should not be. We have a weight limit, a weight restriction. I mean, if it's a local delivery, it obviously, a moving van that's going somewhere, or to possibly, the other thing is possibly the high school.
Oh, there's a truck that I believe is affiliated with the post office in Villa Park that uses as a cut-through between 3 and 5 p.m. every weekday. And sometimes it goes east, sometimes it goes west.
We will definitely take a look at Village Code.
Other than that, it'd really be great if something could be done. When you guys put the little extension so you could make a left-hand turn, that really was great. I mean, that improved a lot as far as the day-to-day. But the north side of that street, there's going to be a bad accident. I've avoided, I don't know how many times I've avoided people that I'm almost bailing off the road so they can avoid their potholes. And it's a dangerous situation. It's going to get worse. It's on a high school street. It should have attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments for the public on non-agenda items? You get to adjourn? All right, can I have a motion to adjourn? No, okay, I guess we're staying, it's too
Mr.
early,
President,
Trustee Taglia says.
Make a motion to adjourn.
We have a first from Trustee Boltis.
Mr.
Do we have a
President.
second? Trustee Aiello?
Second.
Questions or comments from the board on adjournment? Ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Doing it.
Meeting
Aye.
adjourned.